Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So for today's video, I will be giving you guys a tutorial on this makeup look. So if you are interested, keep on watching. It's definitely not an everyday look. So, you know, if you are not familiar with cut crease, if you're not really used to doing color, you will learn today on some of the techniques that I use. So if you guys are interested in this look and how to recreate it, just keep on watching. Okay, so let's get started. I already filled in my brows. I used the Morphe, it's a pomade dip brow that they have. I believe it's like only $8, and I'm using it in the color Biscotti. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a base for my eyeshadow. I do start with my eyes first, and then I'll kind of fill in the rest of my face. So I am gonna go ahead and go in with Shape Tape Tarte, and I'm just gonna go in with my sponge. Okay, so now I have the base on my eyelid. I'm gonna go ahead and go in with the James Charles Art. I don't even know what this is called. Yeah, the Artistry palette. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. And then I'm gonna go in the shade with this shade here. As you can tell, I really like that for the base. Probably wouldn't have been a good idea to clean my fucking brushes, but I did not. So if you see a little bit of color on the brush, I do apologize. I'm a little fucking lazy. And I'm just gonna go in with a fairly fluffy brush. This is a Jeffree Star Morphe collab. I like to use the fluffy brush because I just like to get the color all around my lid at the top. I'm going to be going in with the Ace Beauty palette. It is called Scarlet Dusk. It's one of my favorite palettes right now. I actually got this in a BoxyCharm, and I actually never heard of Ace Beauty. I mean, I don't know about you, but I might just be living under a rock. I had never heard of Ace Beauty before, and when I got this palette, I was actually really shook because it's one of my favorite palettes now. This is what the palette looks like. As you can tell, this is like one of my favorite colors, and the names are really cute. So I think I'm gonna start off with Lotus. It's like a very light purplish pink, and I really like to put this shade at the crease only because I will start to transition this crease into a darker purple shade. I like to start off with the lighter color first on my crease, just so that when I go in with the darker purple, it's not super drastic. I seriously need to finish unpacking because I feel like all my shit is scattered, and I don't think I put all my brushes in my little brush holder, so I had to go grab it. This brush is from Moda Pro. I believe I got this in a BoxyCharm box as well. It's the model BMX-420. I'm actually gonna go in now with the Bahamas. It's such a pretty, like a purplish pink, darker shade. I'm gonna go right in the crease. And the reason why you really want to go in really kind of heavy on this is because when you do a cut crease, you do want this color to really pop and define that cut crease. What I like to do is I like to go back in with the first color of purple shade that I used and kind of really just make sure that it blends right in. Okay, now that I have that shade on both ends, I'm gonna go ahead and go in with the Tarte Shape Tape again, and I will be using kind of like a flat brush. It is like this flat brush here, M421 by Morphe. So yeah, so you don't really want to put too much concealer. I'm gonna go ahead and just put like this much concealer on it. I always like to start in from this side. I'm gonna try not to talk because try not to move when you're doing this. It's like really hard for me to explain makeup because I don't know like the correct terminology, so I sound like a fucking idiot, but You get the point, right? I always leave this part open only because I do come back in with eyeshadow anyway right there. So it's kind of pointless to put concealer. So now I'm done with my cut crease. One thing I did forget to mention, when you're doing your cut crease and you're done with this eye and you want to start on the next eye, do not let your eye relax. Kind of like lift your eye the entire time until you put the base. If you let your eye relax, it's going to smudge up here, and then once you put the base, definitely feel free to relax. I'm going to go in with the Maui. It's one of my favorite colors here, so I'm going to go in on the base with that color and just try not to get it over that line of the crease, because then it kind of defeats the purpose of the crease. And obviously this is not an everyday eyeshadow, but this is kind of like when you're trying to look cute, have fun, kind of weekend vibes, go out, go to a party, things like that. Now that that's done, I'm gonna go back in with the color Lotus. It's the first color we started with, and then I like to start putting that right at the end here. And I like to start pulling it towards the inner part of my eye, not too much, because you kind of want to give that a fade. And see, this is what I meant about not having to put the concealer too far out. I'm gonna go in with Sangria this time. It is this shade right here. Just tap it right at the end because you don't want too much of it. You don't want it to overpower the color we just applied to that side. I'm gonna go back to the James Charles palette. I'm gonna go in this really shimmery light shade here for the top of my eye, just to kind of highlight my eyebrow. So I'm not gonna be using eyeliner. I'm just gonna go right ahead and get into my eyelashes. I did get this little NARS Climax mascara. It's really, really good. I don't know where I got it. I think I got it for like a birthday gift from Ulta or something. And I'm not gonna put too much because my eyelashes that I'm going to be using are pretty full. So if you use pretty full lashes and dramatic lashes, you don't need to put too much mascara on, because then it'll start to look really clumpy. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and apply off camera my favorite lashes, but I'm just gonna show you. I'm not gonna go into detail on what the brand is or what the name is called, because I will be doing a separate video on my lashes and the lash reviews and all the lashes that I really, really like right now. So I'm gonna show you what they look like. And these are one of my favorite lashes right now. They're super wispy, and they're not like super dramatic, but they're dramatic. So I'm gonna go ahead and put those on off camera, so be right back. Okay, so I've gone ahead and applied my lashes. What I do next after my lashes is I go ahead and start applying foundation and primer. So lately I have been using, only because I haven't really looked for a new primer, I've been using the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. And I actually saw it on one of Jeffree Star's YouTube videos, and he really highly recommended it. So it was kind of sold out for a long time. So when I was able to get my hands on it, I definitely did. And I've just been using it because it's pretty much all that I have. But it actually works pretty good. So if you've seen my Drunk It Ready with me, you probably know what foundation that I use. But if you have not and you're curious, I do use the Fenty Beauty foundation, and this is in the shade 190, and it's pretty full coverage. It is a matte foundation, which I like only because I am pretty oily. But what I like to do is I actually like to go in with my foundation brush, and it's actually by BoxyCharm, and I just like to kind of spread it out like this. I like using brushes over sponges because I feel like sponges really soak in a lot of your product. So I like to go in with a brush. Now that I'm done with my foundation, I am going to go in with my Tarte Tape Shape. I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but it is in the shade Fair Light Neutral. It's pretty light only because I really like to add highlight here. And so I'll go ahead and do that. And then right down my nose and just a little bit up here. So I'll go in with my sponge and really get in there. Here is the only part where I will drag it, only because I like to clean my shadow. Okay, and then after I drag it, I do tap it. Did you see how that cleaned up the shadow there? You don't need to do anything extra. I know some girls use like a wipe, like a makeup removal wipe before putting on your foundation, but you really don't need to do anything extra like that. And for your nose, use the tip of your sponge. You don't want to make that line too thick. You want it to stay right in the middle of your nose, so that when you do contour your nose with powder or whatever you use, you want it to really stay in the middle so that your nose looks a lot more defined. Okay, so once you're done with, let me just wipe my mouth, I look like a crackhead. Okay, so once you're done with the concealer, you really want to go fast into your setting powder underneath your eyes so that it doesn't start creasing. And I'm going to be using the Laura Mercier translucent powder, and it's my favorite. It's my go-to. It's the best. Don't let anybody tell you different. Okay, I'll go right in the middle of my nose. So now that I'm set pretty much underneath my eyes, I like to go in with my other setting powder that I use. I actually got this again from a BoxyCharm as well. It is called, okay, now I feel really dumb. It's this brand. I don't know how to pronounce it, so help me out here. But it's the coconut setting powder. It literally smells like coconut. It smells so good. And I just like to put a little bit on the cap. That was not a little bit. So let me just pour some back in. And then I just like to go around where I didn't set my face with the Laura Mercier. And I'm not the type to bake for a really long time, so I'll go ahead and wipe off all the excess powder underneath my eyes and then fully just set my face. Okay, now that that's done, I don't know, every time I do my makeup, my nose runs. I don't know about you guys. I mean, does this happen to you, or am I just freaking alien? So, I have been using this for years, and I actually just purchased a different contour palette from the Makeup Shack, but I've been using this one for years. It's the Anastasia light to medium. So I like to start from the top and then just drag it down. And right above my forehead, all the way down to my temples. Now, I do like to go under my chin to hide my double chin. Thank you very much. A girl out here pregnant, gaining hella weight. Okay, so now that I'm done with that, I'm gonna go ahead and start contouring my nose. I do like to use this brush here. As you can see, it's flat on the ends, but in the middle it's kind of like very narrow. So I like to use this brush for my nose, and this is in BMX 466. I like to start off at the top here and then work my way down. And the reason why I'm not too worried about how much powder I use is because I'm going to go in and blend it anyway. And this is what I use to buff it out. Okay. So now that I've contoured my face, I'm going to go ahead and go in with my highlight and some blush. So let me start off with the blush first. Again, it's in this brand that I cannot pronounce. It has a mirror in it. Hi, you can see my camera. And then here is the color of it. It's a really pretty like highlight color. But I'm gonna go in with that just with my blush brush here and then put it right there. For my highlight, I'm gonna go in with one of my favorite highlights of all times. It's the Morphe Spark. It's literally my favorite. I go right in. I know some girls, they put their setting spray first and then their highlight, but to me, I'm not a fan of that, only because I feel like when you do that, it kind of makes your highlight skip. And then I like to put highlight a little bit over my eyebrow, well, eyebrows, and then right above my lip. So that is it for my highlight. Once I'm done with my highlight, I like to go in with the eyeshadow palette again and then just kind of fill in my under eyes with eyeshadow. I'll go in with the first shade that I use, which is Lotus. Now that I've applied Lotus, I'm gonna go in with the Bahamas here. And then kind of get it right at the edge. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go in here with the shimmer that I used up here right inside the crease. And I will just go right in here. I'm gonna go ahead and apply some mascara on my bottom lashes. So I like to go in with the tip of the mascara and then drag it down. I don't like when my lashes on the bottom get really clumpy. And I'm gonna go in with my lipstick now. First I'm gonna start off with my lip liner. I'm gonna use this lip liner by Steve Laurent, and it is in the shade Vogue. And I suck at lip liners, so please forgive me. Probably not the best person to watch how to do lip liner. And I'm gonna go ahead and now go in with my liquid lipstick. It's by Dose of Colors. This is in the shade Nude Mood. And I also am going to be using a gloss. And this is by Iconic. It's like a nude color. And I just like to put it right in the middle. And there we have it. So this is my final look. What do you guys think about it? If you guys do recreate this, please repost on Instagram and tag your girl, because I would really like to see this look on you guys. If you guys want to see more tutorials, more makeup looks, anything like that, definitely leave me some comments. And I will be doing a lash review on all my favorite lashes, so if you guys are interested in that, make sure to stay tuned. And yeah, I will see you guys on my next video. Bye.